thank you so much for making a date on the marketplace today. Welcome back. Now, Passion Airlines has taken delivery of its third Bombardier-Q400 aircraft for commercial operations in the country. At the welcoming ceremony, commercial manager for the airline, Anita Kuri, explained besides the new Takoradi route, the airline will also embark on further expansions.
Arrival of the third Bombardier-Q400 aircraft at the Kotoka International Airport is expected to bring more vibrancy in the domestic aviation sector. Currently, the airline operates the Accra-Kumasi and Accra-Tamale routes. However, commercial manager for Passion Air, Anita Kuri, says with the current edition, they will be expanding operations to Takoradi towards the end of November.
We have 2 aircrafts at the moment, and we are operating Kumasi as well as Tamale. We plan on increasing Tamale's frequency in the coming weeks. Takoradi is expected to commence by the end of November, and early next year we will look at regional operations, but then us and putting together the plan and doing our homework to ensure that we start a route which is feasible for our type of operations.
According to Managing Director of the Ghana Airports Company Limited, John Atefa, the coming on board of the second player in the domestic aviation industry has led to a surge in passengers.
We used to do about 14,000 passengers between Kumasi and Accra per month. However, with the entry onto the market of Passion Air, last month, which is October, we were able to do 22,000. So we think this has been occasioned by one, the increase in capacity, and also the competitive pricing that we are seeing on the market. And we hope that this will continue to grow. Currently, flights to Kumasi can go on till as late as 8 p.m. and nobody complains, and people are flying that late, which was not the case when earlier on. I mean, flights to Kumasi normally ended by 6 p.m. and everything was over.
For the regulator, the growth and expansion seen with the new entrants will help in fulfilling the nation's quest of becoming an aviation hub.
Yeah, I think it's very significant and very important for Ghana's aviation industry, because we've always had a vision of making Ghana an aviation hub for West Africa, and the hub concept can only be realized with a strong domestic airline industry. And Passion is the arrival of the third Q400 aircraft of Passion Air connotes the seriousness, the determination of the airline to contribute to the realization of the hub. It will also help open up the country for domestic travel, for commerce, trade, industry, tourism, and so it's very, very significant.
Meanwhile, former domestic Terminal 1 of the Kotoka International Airport will soon be used for the servicing of private jets. The Ghana Airports Company Limited says it has signed a license for a fixed base operator which may commence operations next year. This comes as activities of domestic airlines moved to Terminal 2 following the completion of the new Terminal 3 for international travels. In an interaction with Joy Business's Sheila Tamaklo, Managing Director of the Ghana Airports Company, John Atefa, explained the move will help generate more revenue for the company.
We are going to turn Terminal 1 into a fixed base operation where we give it out on a concession to an operator who would service private jets and stuff like that. We hope that when we do that, we'll be able to attract private jets from some of our neighboring countries. Those who own private jets may come and even use here as their base. So we want to put it to very economic use, productive use, and then some income from there.
Okay, so have we found a partner yet?
Yes, please. We have signed a license for a fixed base operator in Ghana.
Could we know the name of the company that is coming to operate this, please?
I'm sure the company will make it public as soon as they are ready.
But we have signed with them and it will be okay?
They should be on the market very soon.
How soon?
Well, remember, they have to retrofit the place, do some works there, and maybe early next year we should see them operating.
Thank you very much.
You are welcome.
Let's all stay within the transport sector, and President Akufo-Addo says the creation of the Railway Ministry was to revive the sector and attract the required investment. The president said this when he met proposed financiers of the new Accra Sky Train project and other rail projects in the country. George Wiafe has more from South Africa.
The railway sector has been the backbone of the country's industrialization in the past when it comes to transportation of resources. One cannot forget about it being a major means of transporting commuters in Accra to other parts of the country. However, lack of investment in that area resulted in what some are describing as the collapse of the sector. It is for this reason that is why government argues that the creation of the Railway Development Ministry headed by Joe Gate would help address this problem. Speaking at an engagement with some new financiers of the railway projects in the country, President Akufo-Addo said this decision to give more attention to the sector should help address this problem.
So on all the various perspectives, the demand for us for railway infrastructure and railway activity is very, very strong. The world knows about German technology in the railways, German technology period, but particularly also in the railway sector. So to have you and the sister companies from South Africa is an extremely important partner of Ghana, would be something that we would welcome. And I believe the minister has already been active in talking to you about how you can fit into the design that he has made for the development of our railway industry.
Officials of Dutch Bank, which are financing some of the major railway projects in the country, say they are motivated by government's commitment to transform the railway sector.
And studies worldwide show that with each dollar you invest in railways, you have a return of $5 annually afterwards, in terms of macroeconomic effects. And this is something which Deutsche Bahn, we have a political mandate on the one hand to promote this, to promote the German presence in Africa. And on the other hand, we are active since 1966 worldwide. Our company is in bringing German technology, railway technology, engineering and consulting services to railway entities in other countries and also for other governments who are interested in building up railway networks.
Joe Gate on his part said he's excited by some proposals being put forward by the investors that will result in the establishment of a railway training school in the country.
We'll continue working with them. From the training institute which we are establishing to the operations and maintenance to our state-owned enterprise, which we are looking for a strategic partner for them to help them to become more efficient. That's our tracks, we develop our tracks. As you know, we are building some ourselves, and with our own GOG money. There are some that we are putting at the BOT, and there are some, of course, that we are looking for funding to build. And especially the new lines, it's going to be a much expanded network. The training institute will want to see whether you can mentor our training institute to some extent, whether we can see what we can do. We are just beginning.
The president is also expected to engage some other investors who are expected to help finance the Takoradi oil refinery project.
It's so live on the marketplace. Let's do some energy matters now. And new owners of ECG Miracle are assuring consumers of massive transformation of the institution when they finally take over from February next year. Government last year settled on the consortium led by Filipino firm Miracle to take over the ECG. The new owners are expected to inject more than $500 million before they start running the firm. Speaking to Joy Business in South Africa, founder and chief executive of A Energy, Ricardo Mercado, said they are now focusing on recovering ECG's debts.
So why we signed today was just the intention of IFDB support this important project for Ghana. that is supporting the ECG transaction. ECG, like everyone knows in Ghana and the region, is really important for the country. We really need to improve the grid and the network and the electricity supply in Ghana. And this project is really important. That's why FDB is supporting us. And this is the intention to support. It's just the beginning of a big process, an important process. And our Energies is trying to bring these big partners to the Ghana project. Since we are a Pan-African company, we have experience in financing and execute huge projects in Africa. So this transaction with Ghana will really important for the continent to be an example.
What would this mean for your project that you are hoping to, all other things being equal, by February next year, together with your partners, Morocco should be taking over ECG? What will this whole financial arrangement mean for you in terms of taking over ECG and ruling out and getting a hit in the ground running?
So this is like I told you, is a transaction that we are building to start in the beginning of next year. Is a complex transaction because as soon we have a starting over of the company, we must have some commitment with the banks and ourselves we need to finance. So we need to have all the finance structure ready to support all the investments we need to make on the country, because we have a commitment with the country that we need to invest on the company. And is specific what we are doing here. We have our equity that is important. It's 30% of this will be our equity, and the rest will be funding by IFDB and other banks that want to join. And what we are doing here is structure of all this to implement the plan that was approved by the government of Ghana.
What is AFD bringing on board for you? I hear some $800 million. Are they the lead arrangers to raise these funds for you? And what is the plan? When are you going to get access to these funds to inject into ECG?
Specific, IFDB will be the lead arrangement for this. They will manage and take care of all the finance for the consortium.
And so for you, are you set to really take over from next year, February?
No, that is depends of everyone. Well, of course, ECG needs to help us or govern, but we are ready for that. We are working for that.
And for you, what are your expectations when you take over? Or what should we expect from you when you take over next year, February?
It's the starting point, and we like challenge. Our life is not easy since we born the company and the consortium too. So we are.
Now, out of the 5.66 billion cedis proceeds of the Energy Levy Sector Act, or ESLA bond, raised to curtail the country's total energy sector debts, the Bui Power Authority says they have not received any portion of the amount yet. CEO of the authority, Fred Owari, says his outfit has been promised payment in the second or third tranches. While ECG owes the company $250 million, Fred Owari adds the current concessionaire, Meralco, has promised not to make purchases from them without paying.
Unfortunately, the first phase of the ESLA, which raised some substantial amount, about 60% of what the government was looking for, we did not benefit from it. Our understanding was that some of the debts were owed to the banks, and to make sure that the banks were not put to any distressing conditions, all those monies went into liquidating the debts which were owed to the banks. And to that extent, nothing was paid to us. But we are very hopeful that having done that, in the second tranche we'll find our name on the list.
And, how hopeful are you? At what point are you expecting this tranche to come, and how much of it is expected?
Well, I cannot exactly tell you when that will be. We have been actively participating in the meetings, the last of which was 3 days ago and was held in our own offices. So we continue to be part of the process, and we are engaging the Ministry of Finance in the implementation of the entire program. But as to when the actual call will be made and when disbursement will be made, I don't think I'm in a position to tell you that.
You have started some renewable energy projects. So of course, even the hydro is renewable energy, but solar. you're expected to start your own projects apart from the one that is going to go through PPP. How are you raising money for that? And exactly when should we expect the start?
Well, we do have the resources in terms of the switchyard which we have already built. And we're using that to, if you like, take a certain position in engaging the private sector by way of, if you want to describe it as PPP, for the private sector to partner with us and take some equity in those ventures. We've gone far with them. We have...
And still in energy, Deputy Minister of Energy Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam says Ghana is making conscious efforts to ensure transparency and good governance in the management of the country's oil resources. He has been addressing a panel discussion at the Africa Oil Week conference as Ghana gears up to hold a bidding round for 6 oil blocks. Darrell Kwao reports.
The Deputy Minister, Mohammed Amin Adam, said transparency and good governance were important to avoid mistrust among citizens, ensure equitable growth, and for the harmonious operations of international oil companies in the country. Addressing a panel discussion on the topic, governance, transparency, and equitable growth, Dr. Amin Adam added that government was doing all it can to promote contract transparency.
In Africa, for instance, of the 18 oil-producing countries in Africa, 13 have adopted open and competitive bidding processes for allocating petroleum rights. But we still have challenges. Contract transparency is still not very broad on our continent, because only 2 countries out of the 18 producer countries have adopted contract transparency, disclosing contracts, the secondary contracts, the primary contracts, for their citizens to be able to scrutinize what their governments have negotiated for them. And so there is need for us to do more work in the area of contract transparency. The other issue where we still have a challenge with has to do with beneficial ownership information.
The session looked at how the global industry can expedite the African growth story through contract transparency, revenue management and sharing, deepening stronger governance and operations between government and operators, as well as building transparent tendering and procurement processes. The Deputy Minister also addressed issues of corruption and local content.
Companies should not see local content just as legal requirements, but they should see local content as part of their strategic operations of partnering with local people, of helping add value to the economy where they operate, so that the countries are not reduced to rent collectors. You know, and this is why, again, we must have consensus on what the scope of local content should be. To what extent can companies contribute? We must understand that, and that should influence the kind of targets that we set in our laws.
Ghana will be holding a bidding round at the Africa Oil Week for oil blocks in the Western Basin. Darrell Kwao, Cape Town, South Africa.
Away from energy now, and cashew farmers in the Banda district of the Bonahafo region are calling on President Akufo-Addo to speed up work on the establishment of the Ghana Cashew Board. According to the farmers, the delay in putting together the cashew board is seriously affecting them when selling the raw cashew nuts. Some of the farmers who were speaking with JoyNews, Nesta Kafia Joma at Banda Hinkro, lamented they are being shortchanged by cashew nuts buyers.
Early this year, President Akufo-Addo launched the 10-year cashew development plan in Brong-Ahafo regional town of Wenchi amidst pomp and pageantry. Cashew farmers in the Banda district say they have since been expecting to hear something about the proposed establishment of a cashew board, but to no avail. They are therefore urging all players in the cashew value chain to impress government to constitute a board so that farmers will get value for their toil. In Banda, cashew farmers have also been complaining of scarcity of herbicides and pesticides that will enhance production of cashew in the area. This, according to them, has accounted for the seemingly low yield being recorded.
Na etomre bi a ya holding timi adwuma no this yenya ndro no bi na ya dia supporto aye adwuma no na ye ha no timi tomre bi a ato omo amuton kra no bi mba ha ama yenya nduro no bi enye ejuma no na mfie be 9 ona bro adawroma afi bia obre nduro no bi na e dia support adwuma ayeye no
cashew no ye do a ye nduro e de ye ho adwuma na sometimes etomre bia ya na nduro no upe bi krampo a unya nti ama samre na adwuma no so aba fom kakra na ona bo hwe ya ho se ohono na aye problem e wo adwuma no mu a ya e hayel nti be ye 4 years going ono amo supply ndro no bi.
Deputy Minority Whip and Member of Parliament for Banda, Ahmed Ibrahim, has meanwhile provided some farm inputs that could bring some relief to farmers in the area.
We started from 2009. Every year, we buy weedicides and pesticides for farmers in the Banda catchment area. And it is all in an attempt to make sure that we revitalize the agricultural sector. Every quarter when they bring the common fund, then I'll take small, go and pay. Every quarter I take small, go and pay. So this is the latest that we have. Over 1,000 boxes of weedicides and then over 1,000 boxes of NASA spray machines being distributed to all the farmers within the Banda district. And this is to help them to be able to clean their farms, to prevent the cashew farms from being burnt.
Ahmed Ibrahim encouraged all stakeholders in agriculture to assist in making the Planting for Food and Jobs a successful program.
There is one president for the country, and he is saying that Planting for Food and Jobs. As a member of parliament, what support can you also give? Let all go in that direction, because agriculture is the only way. Until we make it attractive for the youth to go in, our GDP growth rate will not improve. Our inflationary figures will not be improved. Our terms of balance will not be improved.
From Banda Hinkro in the Banda district of the Brong Ahafo region, Nesta Kafui Ajuma reporting.
And back in Accra, the Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has issued an ultimatum to fund managers who were given guaranteed returns up to December to desist from the act or face sanctions. Executive Director of the SEC, Reverend Obami Tete, has warned that fund managers are not mandated to issue guaranteed returns to customers because it is contrary to the law. He spoke at a press conference to brief the media on the Commission's 20th anniversary celebration.
That is what it is. And so the fund manager must be able to profile you and then help you select the kind of, underlying assets that will help you achieve your investment objectives. So there's a difference. There's a difference. So we are not in any way making our fund managers uncompetitive. No, we're actually saying that this is the way to go. My understanding is that the reason why a number of fund managers got into this business of guaranteed returns is because they found the microfinance institutions and then the savings and loans offering those mouth-watering returns and then attracting them. So they thought that, well, if you can't beat them, then you join them. But it has its own problems. We are saying that, look, the mandate we are giving you is to use your head, because it's a cerebral activity. Do your work, manage the portfolio, and then excel in terms of outperforming. Don't give guaranteed returns. That is not your calling, or that's not what you are mandated to do.
And this is where we draw the curtains on the Thursday edition of the Marketplace. Many thanks for watching. Let's meet again same time tomorrow. My name is Emmanuel Abuaji. For more business, log on to myjoyonline.com/business. Have a good afternoon.